guys, back with another one. I guess this is number 2. This is from Mirage. So with Mirage again, we'll start off with just going around the map and just learning the callouts, and again if there's any like random tendencies or anything that you need to be aware of in terms of positioning or in terms of angles you need to clear, we'll go through that. So we'll go around clockwise again. This time the map's a little bit better because A side is on the left and B side is on the right. I think Dust 2 might have been the only exception with that. Actually no, that's wrong. Nubis is also A to the left. Oh, sorry, A to the right, B to the left. Anyway, look, we're spawning here at T-spawn. If you go up the top, you are going to end up in a place called Palace. Generally, as a T, you want to be able to control the space. You want to be able to hold somewhere passive if you're just holding to make sure that the CTs do not push. You could potentially also creep up this right-hand angle if you're quick. It's kind of like ancient on A side as well in A main, because there are these pillars and there are awkward timings where it is very possible that you do walk past someone, like maybe you're clearing here and they're clearing here, and like you guys just miss each other on the pillar. It's very possible. So to avoid that, I think it's better if you just go back and just hold this angle. You can even hold it to a wider side because generally they're not expecting you here. So we're talking about Palace, we're talking about it a bit later. The other side, if you go down towards A, this is A main. You can talk about just outside A main. We'll start from here and then we'll go back a little bit because I do want to cover Palace a little bit later. Generally, the CT is probably going to smoke over here just to block your vision of A main. If you play close, it's similar to Dust 2 on the B side of things. You are blocked in on the main entryway to the bomb site. If you play close, you're getting ready to pop out, you will get naded. So as a CT, as an example, after you throw the smoke, like let's just say you throw the smoke over here, maybe you're expecting someone to pop out, or maybe you're expecting someone close, definitely throw a nade over here, boom, right? Or maybe they can throw something like this, bank it a little bit deeper, and if you're playing close, you're probably going to get naded. A good spot to play if you're preparing to, I guess, bust out is just somewhere here. Over here, you're not going to get damaged as much. Like let's say, for example, when nade lands over here, right? Like you're going to take minimal damage. The flower pot will take most of it for you. It's better than playing here because over here, like if there's like, you're going to take a bit more damage, especially if it's close. Oh, okay, like that was bad. But over here, another decent angle to hold if you're waiting for a smoke to clear. The reason why this angle is good is because even if the nade bounces off here, like as an example, if like I'm just gonna throw a decoy, but like if the nade bounces through here, it's gonna like explode over there. So if there's a nade exploding over here, you're not taking too much damage if at all. And also over here, the CTs sometimes they like to creep. Maybe they creep through the smoke and make an aggro play. If they walk past this way, they're going to see this. But you will see them first because they're walking out of smoke, so easy dome. If we go back a little bit, generally for CT, or if you're holding A to stop push, you kind of want to play a little bit more back if you want to avoid all the nade damage. You can play around the entrance over here just to make sure people don't creep up the smoke, or you can play a little bit back, or you can even play backwards this way and just hold the angle a bit more passive. You can also hop onto this ledge, and then you can have a bit of a high ground, and you'll be able to see their toes and their legs before you actually see the body. Just 4 body shots is like before a headshot kind of thing. So you'll be able to see and you'll be able to hold. Don't hold here though, because they'll be able to see your toes. So make sure you are at an angle. This is where I guess generally people throw their smokes. You can hold over here and you can start throwing your like execute smokes. You can throw all your execute smokes from this side over here, I believe. You can throw one here, you can throw one here, and you can throw one here. These are slow, but if you're one person and you want to like distract and make like some kind of like a fake or something, you can throw a CT, you can throw a jungle, and you can throw a stairs. It's not the best smoke, obviously. I haven't lined it up properly, but you get the idea. So this spot is generally pretty good for throwing smokes. Other than that, you have jungle smokes and you have stair smokes over here available. There's a tip that I'd like to mention as we go into A site, and it's for a Palace player, right? As a Palace player, you have the high angle, and you don't actually have too many angles to clear. So of course, you have the sniper window angle to clear. You have under stairs and you have stairs. Maybe a bit of sandwich. And also, if you're diligent, you can probably clear someone who is hiding over here just to make sure that, like in case you pop out of palace and you're not actually clearing the corner. But once you have cleared those angles, you are responsible for mollying under. And the reason is very simple. It's because you are hidden from under balcony. So you can actually throw this molly, and it's a very safe molly to throw. Whereas if you pop out of A main and you are throwing this molly, you're bouncing it off the A sign, but you're exposed, right? If anybody, like, if you're fumbling your nades and someone pops out a firebox and someone pops out a triple, yeah, they will see you and they will probably be able to shoot you as you're caught with your molly down. So if you're the palace player, it's your responsibility to actually molly the unders, right? Once it's mollied, if someone does pop out, the person who comes out of A main will be the one actually killing it. So you do need to set up your teammates. I think this is really, really important. I see so many times that no one's actually willing to throw the molly from palace, and then you end up just getting swung on and you just end up dying. So it's not very good. Anyway, once you come out of A, this is the site. This is what we call Tetris. There's all these like different blocks over here. So Tetris is pretty like a stock standard spot. It's a good idea to actually learn how to smoke off CT from Tetris. Just line it up with this lamp, and then you can throw the smoke. It's a good way to actually get out and isolate corners. Mirage has so many different corners on all the sites, so you do need to understand how to isolate. CTs could play close at this angle. It's not the best angle in the world, especially if a pop flash comes up. You just need, like, you're just going to have to look away. But a shotgun here is quite devastating, so if you don't actually check it, you will be in for a rough time. So make sure you clear as soon as you come out. You want to clear, like, obviously all your far angles, but then stay far and try and clear this angle. Over here, this is default. The default bomb site, this is like the default plant position. So it's within the rectangle. You just want to hide over here. You are safe from most everywhere except CT. So make sure this CT place is covered. It's a decent enough place. It's safe, but if you're going to play around it as like a retake kind of spot, it's not the best, obviously, because you can only be seen from like a palace or maybe from a firebox. If you're anywhere towards the right hand side of the site, you're going to have to run in and actually hard clear it. If you're going to default over here, we call this dark, or we call this hell. It's just under palace. So this angle also, again, really gnarly. Make sure you check it. There's so many rounds that people don't check, and then you get like a free 2 kills or something. This is a nice place to play because you're at an elevated angle. You're usually good for 1 kill over here unless you completely whiff, but this place is okay because you don't actually get mollied. So if there's a molly over here, you are kind of safe, especially if they throw a pretty bad molly off this side. So you can stay up here and not get burned. It's pretty decent. After that, when you're entering into here, this little corner is called firebox. This entire area is called firebox, but generally you want to hide through here. Firebox is like one of the tips that I can provide is make sure you hard clear firebox. Like you go, if you were to clear it, don't just go, yeah, okay, it's clear, because you can definitely hide in this corner, right? Like a lot of people just think, I hide in this corner, it's pretty wide, but you can actually hide here and you're actually not visible. I made this mistake so many times as well. Just make sure if you're not going to molly firebox, like either you molly it or you walk in and hard clear it. This area in between these two stacks, the Tetris stack and the stairs stack, is called sandwich. Obviously it's in the middle. Gnarly angle over here, it is a pixel angle, but yeah, you can catch people unawares. But generally speaking, sandwich is a pretty weak area to play because you can't really go anywhere. You either go left or right and get stuck, and you are quite visible from palace anyway. So maybe you can catch someone by surprise, but you're going to get traded here. So it's not the best place to play as a CT and even as a T. This angle on the other side of Firebox, this is Ninja, but you can also call it JKS. It's actually also a pretty gnarly angle because you are pretty hidden, and unless you're actively being cleared, you're probably going to be overlooked. So the only time people actually see you is if they're actually running and then they turn around for some strange reason. Maybe they're like running through here and then they're pathing towards CT. Oh, hey, hello, there's someone here. But like, again, you are tucked into a corner. You will see them before they see you, and you are good for a couple of kills, especially if you have trigger discipline. This is what we call triple. Triple is also a nice place to plant because you are hidden from a lot of different places and you're a bit more open to A main and you are open to palace as well. So it's a good post plant position. When you plant over here, again, you just need to be aware that CT is open, so you do need CT to be covered, but this is a decent spot to plant. Alternatively, people have smoked in the middle over here before and planted in here. It's just a pretty, I guess, like safe or neutral plant. Like you're kind of hidden from everywhere behind a smoke, but I mean, I wouldn't generally plant here. This over here, this area, obviously, if it's within this red rectangle, you can plant here. I don't think you can plant on anywhere elevated. Let me try, but I don't think it's possible. Yeah, I don't think it's possible. Planting on this corner is good if you want to plant for connector. So if you don't have CT or you don't have palace and you want to be hidden, you can plant somewhere in this corner. And you can go and play either in connector or in jungle or sniper or something like that. Seen people planting here, but very rarely. But yeah, you can be flexible with it, just as long as you understand. So, like no one plants like anywhere within like random spots. It's just like default areas over here. Maybe you can plant in the corner, but again, if you're smoked off, people can be anywhere. Like realistically, you can like even diffuse over here if people aren't aware. So yeah, just like. Generally, these are like the okay plant spots. One over here on the short side, maybe one in the middle. Yeah, generally as a CT, you can play around triple. You can play around JKS. This is another spot. You're a bit more tucked in. Actually, you have a bit of a headshot angle. You kind of blend in as well. You can see Tetris, and you can also see the entrance or like I guess the bottom of Tetris. So again, it's a nasty angle. If you're not aware, if you're not clearing it, you know, you barely can see the CT's head, but they can see a lot of you. So this angle is also pretty nice. You're also a little bit tucked in as well, so they will be able to, they won't be able to see as much. Even like a spot like here, you know, you can jump onto Tetris, but then I'm here, boom, you're dead. If we move on, these are the benches. So you can say like a bench or something. Not a lot of people play here. Generally, you have like a T. Once like jungle is smoked, for example, you might play over here just in case you'd like to push out on the side, but they'll be able to see you. This is CT, or we call all of this CT basically. Behind here, we can say behind ticket. This is a very common place for the CTs to play. If you jump on top, you can say this is ticket booth. You can play on top of ticket booth, and you can actually see mid. You can also see A main, but very rare for people to actually play on top of the ticket booth, like on top, because this is a very exposed angle. You can imagine, you literally, if you're standing here, you get shot from like 10 different angles. You can play a little bit more passive this way, and you can hold A main. It's a bit of a surprise angle, or maybe even you can rush towards palace, but generally people jump spot over here, or they play behind the ticket booth. Trash can. Again, a place just to, I guess, have like an elevated angle, just so you can surprise people. Like if someone is hiding in front of ticket booth, like so, let's say there's a smoke over here, and the T is just holding it like this to make sure no one's pushing out. Actually, you kind of can see them if you're playing on the bin. But yeah, that's a site in a nutshell. If we go towards the other side, the left side of A, depending on the CT perspective, these are the stairs. So yes, you can go up these stairs and you can peek palace. If you want to be aggressive, you can also hold A main. The stairs is a pretty comfortable place to play because you can also play on the low ground, right? You can peek here, and then you can peek here. You can peek across, right? You can probably throw like a flash against the wall, and then blind sight, and then you can fight over there. So it's a pretty flexible place to play. But if you're a stairs player also, you've got to be aware of connector, so you kind of do need to wander around into connector and check it out sometimes. You can't always just be hanging out here. You do need to help the mid player. This area is called jungle. So around here, this is jungle area. I don't know why it's called jungle, but it's called jungle. Generally, it's probably going to be smoked. Sometimes you can have a bit more of an aggressive smoke this way for the T's to execute, so you won't be able to see too much. But jungle is pretty strong. Just make sure you clear some angles. This angle is okay. this angle over here, in case they're aggressive and they push you. This little cubby over here as well, you can just say it's hiding in the right side of jungle in the little cubby. We'll know what you're talking about. Again, you can hide here, but generally speaking, you could probably be seen. Yeah, this angle's okay, I guess, but I think you can be seen if they're peeking from the benches. So if you peek through this way, you might be able to see them exposed before they see you. So not the best angle in the world. Over here, this is window, or some people call it sniper's nest or whatnot, right? You can see all of mid over here. It connects you with jungle, and this little vent, which is almost always popped at the beginning of the round, allows for a quick rotation into CT. So you can go through here, go into jungle, or you can go this way into window. Not too many angles over here, but this one's a pretty fun one. A lot of the time when people are AWPing the window, they're probably crouched and they're probably holding the right side, probably holding a really tight angle as well. So when you are going towards mid, you really don't want to be like crab walking it or whatnot, because otherwise it's a slow peak. You're there, you have the advantage, boom, it's probably like a death knell, right? But this one's a pretty spicy angle. You get on top of this little bench over here, so you've just raised your height a little bit. Because people are aiming lower, like towards you, because they're expecting you to be crouched or maybe expecting you to be standing over here. If you're standing a little bit back and you're elevated, you still know where they're coming out of. But because they see you, they're only going to see, like, they're going to see your body, but it's going to be higher than expected. So let me see if I can like explain it to you by going to this side of mid. So as an example, like if I'm popping out of mid, right, and I'm holding here, I'm generally about to aim here because that's where they're more likely to be. Like head level over here if crouch, maybe head level over here if they're standing. But because AWP is one shot body kill, you're really going to be aiming here. If you're standing on the bench, your legs are in this area, so they might even miss. They'll need to flick up. And even if they flick up, right, unless the sensitivity is like 32,000 DPI or something, they're probably going to hit your leg. So you're trading a leg shot for basically a kill because you're around here, right? So you're probably going to shoot them. You're probably going to be able to kill them. Whereas, you know, if they miss, they miss. But if they shoot in the leg, at least you're still alive. You've gotten the kill. So it's a better idea for you actually to just like play on that little stool because it will let you live. It's a different angle as well. If we move on from the jungle area into the connector area here, the connector has so many wrap angles that you need to be aware of, both as a CT and as a T. As a CT, if you're holding this, right, very common peaks, you go over here onto this platform, onto this ledge. There's no real spot. This entire thing is just called connector. If you want to describe it, it's maybe like, oh, he's peeking on top of connector. This would be like you're peeking on top of connector. You're standing over here. Generally, if it's a crappy smoke, it's one that's a bit lower, you'll be able to see over it, and then you'll be able to kill. If you have an AWP, it's also a pretty strong angle because you get a kill and then you just leg it. If they're smoking you a little bit deeper, like maybe here or maybe on some steps, it's going to be a bit harder to actually see. I know it's a bad smoke, so let me try and yeah, if you smoke it over here on like a step as an example, it blocks out most of it, so you won't be able to see. That's a terrible smoke as well. So as a CT, you can peek up on top of there. The other side of it, if you play here in this corner, you'll actually be able to see unders. So under over here, you can, well, once the smoke dissipates, of course, sorry. Over here, this is where people pop out from under apps if they're going unders, so you will be able to get a pretty decent angle if you fight over here. Other than that, there's one more angle, I guess, as a CT. You could probably be holding here. It's a surprise angle because you actually can't be seen too much, and generally people don't check this place. So if you have a semi-automatic gun or even like an automatic gun, as they're coming up, it's pretty easy. And you know, if you're ducking over here, you can kind of hide, and you can also spot short, and you can also spot them crossing down from mid over here. So I guess 1, 2, 3 different angles for you guys to check. As a T, obviously you want to be checking those angles as well, so just make sure that you clear this place first. Once you've cleared there, maybe you clear here, then you want to clear this right side of jungle, the right side of jungle in case they're hiding there. Kind of want to crab under so you don't get sniped from like a triple or something like that. Kind of want to clear stairs just to make sure they're not hiding left, and then you're going to wide swing over here before you actually commit into sight. So you can take either one of these angles depending on which one you want to peek. This angle is decent because you can't see them, but also they can't really see you, so it does require full commitment. But by the time they're like there, you should be able to see the legs, so you should be able to pre-fire them. Same with this angle. This angle is okay for that exact reason as well. They're going to have to come out to like hard clear you, but by the time they hard clear you, you will be able to see them as a CT. So that's connector for you. Moving on to mid, a couple of areas over here. This is just, behind the mid boxes. Obviously, when you're coming from T side, you're crossing from here. If you want to play a bit more passive, right, at mid, you kind of want to play just outside B apps, so that's called B apps. Obviously, if you're coming from T spawn, if you run the right side towards mid or towards B, you're going to end up here. So we call this place outside mid, I guess. Common area to drop the bomb is just over here. It's a bit hidden, no one really checks it, and it's relatively safe location. You can also hide here as a T if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel like someone's pushed out mid and you don't want to take the fight, you're scared of taking the fight, maybe just hold a little bit back. People will clear it, but you should have the foresight. Like if you know someone's here, then you hide here, just pre-aim and get ready for them to be there. Otherwise, if you're looking at mid, right, these are the angles that you obviously want to be looking at. The right side, the left side, refrag will give you a pretty decent idea. They're short as well. Hiding behind these boxes is always good. You can just say mid boxes or top mid. So this entire area past this little ramp is called top mid. As you can see, the circle is very wide for the audio range. So even if you are at stairs, right, like you can see, like you can probably hear them jumping around top mid area. So yeah, playing in the stairs, if you are the stairs player, the connector player, you do need those audio cues to make sure that you can communicate with your team. Top mid, generally a pretty strong area. You can smoke off, you can smoke off window if you're running and throw. It's not too hard. Do need to be aware of short though. Over here, this angle, we call this bench. There used to be a bench here, it's just a chair now, but it's called bench, and bench is also a really strong angle just because it's a bit more elevated and it is a corner after all. There is a pixel gap over here, so if someone is holding short, maybe with a rifle, sometimes with an AWP, this angle does exist. Sometimes they even boost, so you can take a look at these angles. Just make sure you don't get caught with them. Same with ladder room. The sneaky CT could end up in ladder. Like if they make the ladder jump somehow, they can get in there pretty quickly, so you do need to be aware of these angles. Otherwise, with mid, something that everybody should know is that you can jump from mid into window. If you don't want to make the noise, you can probably just get a teammate to boost you on this corner and boost you up. So that's something that you need to be aware of. Gives you a bit of extra positional advantage. This is called short into B, because it's like a catwalk and it's the shorter way of getting into B. So this part would be mid, but then you can just say, oh, they're on short, and we'll probably know what you're talking about. If you go through short, actually, we end up in this little room. This is called ladder room. There is a ladder over here. This vent will allow you to go from ladder room into sniper, into window. And this angle is actually pretty decent because you can stop people from boosting, or maybe there's a T just hiding here just to make sure that someone's not extending onto short, because if you hide over here, you can actually see someone pushing short. So if you are hiding here, you could get mollied, or maybe there's someone looking at your window. So you have to be aware, like as both a CT and a T. Also, if you're on this bench, you can kind of like cheese someone like peeking like across the bricks. Maybe they're holding con, maybe they've extended too far. Yeah, you can get a pretty gnarly headshot over here. But yeah, generally if you're going through short, you get into ladder room. Ladder room is a nice hiding spot. I guess you can hide here as a CT or a T. Here, I call this boost, or like on short, I guess. They're just on short, maybe worry about the boost. You can boost on top of this. It gives you an extra angle to see. As a CT, you're probably jiggling in and out over here. Probably want to fall back. This is be short, and we call this arches, right? Because these are like the archways. So if you want to execute, sometimes you maybe like, oh, that's really far, but like sometimes you smoke off this arch. Let me smoke it properly, actually. Yeah, so maybe you smoke off this arch. So a person like a CT playing over here won't actually be able to see what you're doing coming out of apps and whatnot. So here, like this smoke is pretty strong, but even over here, it's pretty strong as a CT position because it is an angle to clear, and if they're coming out of short, you're more likely looking at the middle area, the left area, because this pillar kind of blocks anybody looking at you from the right hand side, so you're gravitating more towards clearing the left side. Just be aware, and you've got to clear this angle. Another angle that you might need to clear is over here under the light pole. It's a favorite spot because people drop down and people come out this way. And when you come out of apps, you're looking forward. Maybe you're looking at short, but this angle is like a proper like right angle, so you actually need to hard commit. This spot is usually played in tandem with someone playing on the other side. So this part is called jail. I guess we're on to B side now. So the light pole is a nice corner, but you do need to check it as a T. A lot of flashes will come. You can probably volley it, but you might have to hard clear it. It's a good spot, especially if you have someone playing where I am playing, which is jail right now. That way you can have a nice crossfire and you can stop them from actually advancing beyond the site. Kind of like two turrets, if you will. Over here is called van. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a van over here. You can be under the app, so like close into the van, right? This is the graffiti where Cold Zero did all of his jumping shenanigans. So if you really wanted to, you can call this Cold Zero. Someone will understand you. Nice trick over here on this van. There is a little ledge that you can play off. It's a pretty off angle. You can only see their heads and they can only see your heads, but you're actually ready because they're popping out. Generally, if you're playing van, if you're AWPing, you kind of want to like play over here just because it's kind of like it's a getaway spot, right? Like you kill and then you run away. But like if you have a rifle, it's actually kind of cool to just stand on like the tip of this truck and like you can have like a bit of a kill. So you kill and then you can duck away. So behind the van, over here you can just say like close apps. This one is a fan favorite. Generally people play the closer corner because it's harder to clear, but I like playing a bit wider just because you can see them faster. And people, when they're coming out of apps, they're always looking towards the left. Rarely do they look at the right. The first person's never going to look at the right anyway because they're trying to clear off angles. So this spot is good for like usually at least 1 kill. You can probably get 2 kills as well just because of how unexpected it is. Also, you are at an elevated angle. If you're playing something a bit more wider, you could be seen a little bit earlier. And if you're playing somewhere here, maybe you get the first trade, but the second person will be able to swing you. Maybe the third person will be able to swing you. You're probably going to get traded out here. So this spot is pretty good. Another rare spot that people don't usually play is this side of the pillar. It's really good also because they're not expecting you to be this close, right? You're clearing here, you're clearing there, you're clearing short side, you're clearing bench. You're not expecting someone to be right here, and this place is pretty good to dome. You can also just underarm flash or like underarm flash or like underarm flash this way. Let's see, like you just like, like over here. Pop and then peek. It'll blind a lot of people here. This was also usually good for a couple of kills, and you can also watch short from an elevated angle. Other than that, this is B site. Be careful of boost. If we're calling boost on B, it's usually over here. Not a lot of people play this place actually. Maybe if you have an SMG or a shotgun, it's really easy to overlook past the pistol round, but please clear it. Generally, the default plants would be this one over here. You're hidden from everywhere. It's pretty good. Like the person who comes out of marker will actually need to push your door. So planting here is generally pretty safe. You can plant here if you've taken short because this is only visible from short. You could also go into like, I guess apps and you can try and create a different type of angle. But yeah, this place is good for planting for short. If you really wanted to plant safe, this is the safest place you can plant. Oh no, my mouse died. Give me a sec. Pull this out quick. Okay, so this is the safest plant you can possibly do because it is tucked away in a corner and you are not visible from any other place. Of course, the trade-off is the fact that you actually need to make this corner place, and also it's not really the best place for a post plant because you are stuck in a corner. So if your teammate is playing short as an example and you've planted here safe, like your teammate's going to have to push. It's probably a losing round for you. So safe plants, default plants, short plant. You don't really plant in the middle of site because the smoke can just destroy you, and no one usually plants around here anyway. So try and avoid those places. Just plant 1 here, plant 2 here, and plant 3 here. market B. So 1, 2, and 3. We talked about jail. So this is bench. Bench is also another strong angle. You can hold the opening of apps over here. You can also hold short over here, and you can hide and play around stuff. Keep in mind that you are wall bangable. So yeah, this does go through. It goes through the other way as well. So just make sure, like, especially if you get mollied out, or if they know that you're here, you can't stay static. You do need to like preemptively fight. You can say this is like the corner of bench. It's a tight angle in case someone pops out of market, you know, they're checking bench, you know, oh yeah, all clear, but you're actually hidden over here, so you can get a free cheeky kill. But other than that, it's actually kind of a weak spot for CT. You can probably hide over here and, you know, make people come out and you can duel them, but you are quite open. So this does provide you cover. If you are a turret, this spot is good, but otherwise, bench is usually a pretty safe spot. And, you know, you can always count on people not clearing you. If we move on to the rest of the B sites, this is the entrance to market. So you can say market door. Not much really to say over here. There's a bit of an L. This is market window. You can play over here, and you can hold apps and you can hold short at the same time. If you really want to be cringy, you can hide on top of these shelves over here. This is just a gnarly spot if people don't check you as a T, but really it's one of those cheesy spots. You're never really playing here if you're playing seriously, especially because there's so many other better places to play, right? So there's that. There's a TV over here. If you're coming from CT, peek kitchen, you obviously want to be holding here. You obviously want to be peeking over here. Rare occasions, maybe you do want to check here, but otherwise, yeah, you're coming out of market pretty quickly. This corner over here is called Africa. It's because, again, it's one of those really hard angles to check, especially because when you're coming out of market, you're really looking towards all of these sites. So Africa is a really strong spot. It is a very committal spot though. So if you're not sure where the other play is coming, let's say, you know, 1v1 and, you know, bomb planted somewhere, unless you're completely sure they're coming from market, I wouldn't advise playing Africa, because, you know, if you're doing this, right, there's every possibility they're coming from short, and maybe they don't check you, lucky you, and maybe you just have to pivot between like these two angles. So it's not the best place to play. So it's good for holding market, but not really good for anything else. There is a nice angle over here where you can actually get like a boost. I don't remember where it was, but I think like this angle over here pretty good, because you are hidden, you are obscured from, I guess, a lot of the, like, your whole body is obscured, maybe under your head, but you will be able to see them coming out. So it's a pretty nice angle, and you can swing around and check the rest of the angles. But I guess that's all of this site. Not really too many people play here. Again, it's a really weird angle. You can also call this Africa, but yeah, they will see you before you see them. Quick words of advice. When you are playing B site, you should play B site. You never really want to be playing passive, because if you are in kitchen and they smoke you off at window and they smoke you off at market door, you don't have anywhere to go. You're literally just stuck here, and the bomb's ticking, the smoke's lasting for 8 seconds, you're not making any progress, and you really don't want to be jumping out of the window, right? Because as soon as you get out, well, firstly, make sure to get lost, as I'm here, but like, if you're out, you get straight into Africa, and you get straight into like other different places, and like, you know, as soon as you pop out here, you can get shot from bench, you can get shot from apps, you can get shot from short, you can get shot from Africa, you can get shot from this side of bench, you know, you get shot from everywhere. So it's in your best interest, even like as an AWPer, to just try and hop into site, just to try and create a few more angles. If you play at a really passive angle, you're just going to be smoked out, and the time's going to tick. You're not going to be able to get room, and you're giving the terrorists room, so they could probably even push you in. And so when the smoke fades, you're probably like, oh, okay, I got to clear out everything over here again, I'm going to walk here, but the T's already so forward that they're ready for you, and so you're probably going to die. So just make sure that you don't stay turtled like into the kitchen. If there's a chance, maybe pop out before the T's have the opportunity to actually take a bit more space. Other than that, I guess that's a lot of B. We should go to explore the last extremity, which is apps. As an apps player, all of this is apps or apartments. This is called kitchen, because there is a kitchen over here. You guys will know this, but kitchen is spammable through this wall over here. Just don't hide over here. If you want to hold B as a T, you kind of want to play a little bit more forward, because you want to be taking the space, right? It depends on how the CT smoke you off as well. The most common smoke, the most common smoke would probably be like around this edge somewhere. Let me try and not get lost. Yeah, so around here. Generally, this is where smoke will land. It blocks off a lot of the actual entrance, and it also gives the CTs a bit of leeway, so they can actually play a bit more forward. They can probably even play the window as well, just to catch you off. So it is in your best interest to try and fight for that area, right? Like if you take that area away, it forces them to smoke a little bit more shallow, forces them to go play back into side a little bit more. If you're around here and you're getting smoked off, a lot of the time, especially if you're making noise, a nade's going to come flying your way. So if you're playing here, you're probably expecting to get naded. So you might want to play deeper into kitchen a little bit. If you're playing here, it's less likely that a nade's going to actually get you, even if it's like a deep nade. Like let's say the nade goes over here, right? You're not going to take too much damage. Whereas if you're standing here, waiting to push, you're probably going to take a lot more. Alternatively, you can probably just hold back a little bit over here. You don't really have to be a kitchen. You can hold over here and just, you know, you can see the CTs if they're pushing, but you are back a little bit. You can avoid most of the utility damage. Kitchen is okay as a saving spot as well, because you can hear what everyone is doing. So as they're running towards you, you know where to aim. If we go over here, this is just outside apps. This is a pretty common corner for people to hide as they're smoking off site. Like, you know, they're smoking off window, like they're smoking off here, or maybe they're smoking off short, something like that. So that is a common area. You do, however, need to have a player who is playing apps hold unders. So if you go down here and you go underneath, you will get to mid. As you can see over here, there isn't too much to talk about because it's pretty linear, but the CTs can occasion like push down mid, go up here, go to apps, clear out whatever is here, and then take a more aggressive fight into T apps. We call this T apps because it's the terrace side of the apartments. Generally speaking, you do want to hold this area just in case someone pushes, but also you can just hold back a little bit and make sure that no one's pushing. Ideally, you don't want to be playing here. It's way too passive. You're giving the CTs a lot of room to come up, and at the same time, you're not really watching an aggro push. So by the time, you know, if you're holding passive over here, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to pop up, but then I'll kill them. Yeah, by the time you round a corner, it's very possible that a CT is already here waiting for you, and you know, he swings and catch you with your pants down or with your nades in hand. So that's basically apps. Just make sure that you hold these kinds of areas, and you know, you can hold a long angle, just don't give too much space away. T apps, nothing too spectacular. Bomb drop over here is generally kind of nice. Just quickly, you can run up these stairs. You don't need to jump. I don't know why. I think in CSGO there was like a little bit of a thing where you felt like you had to jump, but you didn't really need to. So yeah, just don't block. Other than that, I think this map is pretty self-explanatory. It's much tighter space than Dust 2, I think. There aren't as many corners. The corners are mainly on sites. If you just remember those corners, you should be fine. Alright, on to the next map.